There is an appeals process, but for certain things like grades and service hours, if they miss it, they don't stay in. So it's that accountability piece that was mentioned is really important to NHF. These are national standards, so it's, if they commit all the way. This is, anyone who didn't talk to me about? Do you guys have any questions for them?
Favorite project or one that stood out?
Sorry, like it came to mind. I really love doing the community suppers. We put one on, we try to do like every month, but it's kind of,
We don't do many in the spring because the spring is really busy.
but we try to really focus on in the winter because it's kind of the time where people need a warm place and a warm meal the most. So I think that's my favorite activity, is because we all just like kind of get together with food and then like serve, and then sometimes like we'll sit down and snack and like with them and just converse.
And some of you have seen people out in the community, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And like I'll go to the library and I like see people there that I've seen out there, and just like I think it really connects me more with my community, and not just like people in my school, but the actual community. So.
Two favorites actually. I have participated in like
The gay
Helping
club?
Head Start, the like, cool like pre-K type place. And it's just, I think it's really fun because they kind of just hold me up in an office and go and say, "Go cut out 5,000 things for us," and I'm like, "Yeah, let's cut out 5,000 things." Yeah, no, it helps. It helps kids. It helps take the load off of people who need less.
All right, we're
load.
going over to the city council meeting.
Yeah, and also I like seeing the aftermath of blood drives.
Okay. We've got an empty seat at the end of the bench. That's Josh Lilly. Josh Lilly is in travel status right now, but he is joining us via Zoom and remotely, so we'll be participating fully in tonight's meeting in that fashion. Because he is on Zoom, we're going to be doing something a little bit different tonight. When we take votes of the council, it's going to be through a roll call. That's what's necessary when we have someone participating via Zoom. So if that's a little out of the ordinary, that's why. So interesting meeting tonight, and it begins with an interesting presentation tonight. We have our 2026 Edwards Dam Scholarship Student Essay winners. We have two winners this year, one of whom is here tonight, Madison Estabrook, and we would invite her to come forward and read her essay for us. Hi, Madison. Come right up here and speak, introduce yourself and speak right into the microphone, and we'd be happy to hear your essay.
All right. Hi, my name is Madison Estabrook. I go to Coney High School, and here is my Edward Dam essay. The importance of the Edward Dam and where it once stood is crucial not only to the history of it, but also the relationship with the Kennebec River in Augusta, Maine. The dam was removed on July 1st, 1999, which now has been transformed into a free-flowing river, with the location being redeveloped into a park along with a boat launch.
Larger,
the importance of the Kennebec River has many vital meanings to our history, such as the historic, economic, and ecological significance it serves to this day. The river and dam have shaped Augusta's growth not only economically, but also the industry and community lives for over 20 years. The relationship reflects changing perspectives toward the given resources in our town's development. Before the Edward Dam was built, the Kennebec rivers served significant roles. One of these roles consisted of the river being places for massive fish runs. This is what supported what's called the...
There we go. That's a better way to listen to the essay, huh? Very good. Okay. Let's go back over here for a minute. Let's listen to these worthless people, see if they have anything to say. My goodness. Oh, they're down there. Ah, yes. Oh, it's still the Honor Society. You know, it's like, I don't mind, this is cool when they have a separate presentation for the kiddies. They should do it this way, but what they do is they allow kids to go into public comment time.
What grade is each of you in?
And then they get like 6 students and 4 staff.
I'm a junior.
I'm also a junior. Senior.
Senior.
They get 10 people and nobody else can talk.
And it is, this year, it is almost a perfect half and half split.
Nice.
So,
I'm trying to get all these policies
You'll
fixed,
see some
so
of these senior names on the top 10 list when it comes back around.
We like that.
any other questions?
Anything else?
A question. So it's a rigorous process to get into NHS. What advice or tips would you give to students at school who aspire to become a member of the National Honor Society?
I would say don't put off your application till the end. It's, like sneaks right up on you.
okay, are we still
Be
essaying?
honest on your application, and also think about just things that
Yeah,
you've
we're still
done,
essaying.
like for the school.
So
or the
about the
community, because
dam.
certain things that
The
you think,
dam.
that's like not enough to say something about my character or say something about my service. It honestly is.
What is that
I put a
thing?
lot of stuff that I didn't think that
I don't
was
know. It's a
character,
male, and I
guess
think
it
it's on
is.
hormones.
So-
It has boobies and a bra, and it has short hair, and it's dressed like a boy. What the hell is it?
The application process is
A trans dyke?
the letter and
Is that a thing?
the other pieces of it.
Oh my
It's
god!
not really that bad or painstaking to fill out everything. I honestly didn't think I was going to actually get into it, and here I am.
And there you are. It's the kind of way you've been rolling
So
through life.
just at least giving it the attempt if you're offered the
This is
opportunity
city council, if you wanna know what's
goes
going on
a
there.
long
Kennebec
ways for
Dam.
you. Even if you're rejected, then you are allowed to try again the next year, and it's a fun opportunity.
Well, that's good.
I want, yeah, you can do it.
Sorry.
I love your hand.
So the application process, I think definitely still take it very seriously because it is a serious thing, but have a little fun with it.
When you
NHS is
stand
supposed
behind the
to be
podium,
fun, and
your
you're
mic's
supposed to
not
be
hooked
helping
up.
your community and
When you
just,
stand
other
behind the
people
podium,
in a fun,
you're
happy
adult.
way. So just kind of
As far as I'm concerned,
Just have
this is a
fun.
public meeting, man. You put yourself
we all
out
need
there.
some whimsy in our lives.
And we do have a rubric process, so it's a very standardized process.
Oh,
The
yeah.
Council of Five.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I have 5 high school teachers who are my
All right, shut up. Let's see what's going on. The city council.
Of being on that committee to pick the winners, and that was probably the most in-depth, concise history of the Edwards Dam that I've had the pleasure of reading. But both of your
That was a damn
essays
good
were incredible,
paper.
because we usually only do one, but both of them were so
Sorry, I
good.
had to make the joke.
We were
Come on.
compelled to give each one of
It
you
was
a
damn good.
scholarship, and good luck with your post-secondary education.
Good luck with your damn paper.
Again, congratulations, well done. We're
Good
going to move
damn
next to
paper.
a proclamation in recognition of Emergency Medical Services Week. And I have a proclamation here at the bench that I'm going to read from the bench, but make sure that Chief Groder and Deputy Chief Leach get this for their team. And it reads as follows. Whereas emergency medical services is a vital public service, and whereas the members of emergency medical services teams are ready to provide life-saving care to those in need 24 hours a day,
He's
7 days a
proclaiming.
week.
It's a
Whereas
proclamation.
access to quality emergency care dramatically improves the survival and recovery rate of those who experience sudden illness or injury. And whereas emergency medical services has grown to fill a gap by providing important out-of-hospital care, including preventative medicine, follow-up care, and access to telemedicine. And whereas the emergency medical services system consists of first responders, emergency medical technicians, paramedics, emergency medical dispatchers, firefighters, police officers, educators, administrators, pre-hospital nurses, emergency physicians, trained members of the public, and other out-of-hospital medical care providers. And whereas the members of emergency medical services teams, whether career or volunteer, engage in thousands of hours of specialized training and continuing education to enhance their life-saving skills. And whereas the members of the Augusta Fire Department have been providing emergency medical services to the city of Augusta and surrounding communities since February 6 of 1975, and whereas it is appropriate to recognize the value and the accomplishments of emergency medical services providers by designating the Emergency Medical Services Week. Now, therefore, I, Mark O'Brien, Mayor of Augusta, Maine, in recognition of this event, do hereby proclaim the week of May 17th through the 23rd.
He's proclaiming. Yeah, hang on. Let me see what.
So, usually a month is sufficient.
Not for me, I guess.
It's okay.
And then you guys do a really good induction ceremony.
Yeah, we do it in, I think maybe a little bit earlier this
It
year
was like end of
too.
October, early November.
So, you know, what's interesting is for our juniors have to have their service hours by June 1st, but
Oh, look at the guy with a mohawk. What the hell kind of haircut is that? You got a mohawk thing going on. What? What is going on in the world? I don't understand. Oh my God.
You're certainly welcome. Next on our agenda, we have two different public hearings. We'll do them one after the other. The first public hearing has to do with Motivational Services, Inc., CDBG grant application. So I'll open the public hearing on that. You may recall a few weeks ago that we had a public hearing with respect to support of this CDBG grant application. Turns out at the time there were a couple of formalities with respect to the process or the hearing process that we didn't capture for purposes of their grant application and scoring. So we're going to do a little bit of a do-over tonight to take care of those things. One is the appropriate public notice, which has been done, as well as the need to have a written attendance list for people here for the public hearing. So I think, is Katie Ramirez going to? Okay. The way we'll conduct the public hearing is I'll open the hearing, which I have done. I will invite staff to make any remarks that they want to make, and then ask the applicant or applicant's representative if any testimony they'd like to offer. Then I'll invite any public testimony for those in support of the application. Then ask for any testimony from persons opposed, and then finally persons who wish to speak neither for nor against but would like to testify nevertheless. Return to the applicant for any final words and close the public hearing. Later on tonight's agenda we will, well, it's not on tonight's agenda, we've already done that. It's the public hearing that we're
That's correct.
taking care of tonight. So with that, Katie Ramirez.
Hi, good evening, City Manager Mills, and to Mayor Mark O'Brien and members of the Augusta City Council. My name is Katie Ramirez. I am the city's Economic Development Specialist, and today I'm here to speak at this public hearing in regard to the 2026 CDBG Housing Assistance Program application that Motivational Services, Inc. and LB Development Partners are pursuing in sponsorship with the City of Augusta. The purpose of tonight's hearing is to engage members of the public on this development project. The development project that is led by Motivational Services, Inc. is one that demonstrates alignment with the goals and needs expressed by the community. And in order to pursue grant funding through this program, per CDBG program guidelines, municipality
She's taking
needs to serve
public
as an
speaking
eligible
classes.
applicant on behalf of a local project sponsor.
You know
Joining us
how I
tonight
know?
is Executive Director John Zarelli
She
of
breathes in
Motivational
through
Services
her
Inc.,
nose
who will
and
speak this evening
never
to talk
with
about the
open mouth
project and how
ever
it
takes a breath.
aligns with community goals and
She's
needs
very
around housing
disciplined about it.
specifically. So
It leads to a
just to give
candor
just a brief
or
status
a
update, Mayor Bryan had already touched on this, but
cadence.
earlier this year, the city staff had submitted a letter of intent to the Maine Department of Economic and Community Development for this project, which was approved and allowed the city staff, along with Motivational Services Inc., to pursue completing
Oh,
and
that was a
submitting a
long
full
sentence. She did
application.
an open
So
mouth
part of
breath.
that application is to have this public hearing to engage the
losing her
public
train
that
of
has the 10-day minimum public notice, as well as record of attendance, which is right by the council chambers doors. If attendees wouldn't mind being able to sign that attendance sheet, that would be very helpful for our purposes.
This
These
would be one of
documents
those
will be
ladies if you
compiled
ever
in
went on
order
a
to
date,
meet the upcoming grant
like-
deadline,
you'd
which
like
is set
wonder,
for May 15th,
Is she
2026.
slightly on the spectrum, or
I'll stop my
not sure.
testimony right
I mean,
there.
I'm sure
but
she's
for
quite
any
pleasant
questions
company,
or
but
comments that folks
I'd
have,
be like,
I and city
"Yeah, I
staff
don't-"
will be happy to address them with members of the council and
Yeah,
members
she
of the
probably
public.
pushes those
Thank you.
glasses up.
Thank you. Invite the applicant to come forward.
Thank you. My name is John Zarulli from Motivational Services, otherwise known as MoCo. I want to thank the City Council for having me back here tonight, and I'm hoping that we can move forward with our CDBG funding application. Dan Black would normally be here with me. He's unable to attend tonight, but Dan works with nonprofits to secure funding for affordable housing projects such as this one. We completed a similar project over at 18 Green Street. I think it's been a wonderful enhancement to the neighborhood and to the city of Augusta. Where our current project is at 30 Glenridge Drive. That's a vacant lot that MoCo's owned since 2006. We've completed the design and funding process with Maine State Housing, and we have a guaranteed max price contract. Our issue is that we're applying for these funds
I'm
is
just wondering who
that
the affordable housing is gonna
the
go to.
grade
Just
is
asking
of the
questions.
property is below the sewer.
Just asking questions.
And what we need to do is bring in fill to raise it up literally like 4 to 5 inches in order to have positive drainage. So the project is completely shovel ready, as Dan would say, and we just need this small funding gap to complete it. Motivational
Hey,
Services serves
how we
persons
doing,
with severe
Ron?
and persistent mental illness. We've been around since 1976. We serve persons coming out of Dorothea Dix and Riverview Psychiatric. This
Mental illness.
particular project, we've identified for residents who are getting older or aging in place. 41% of our current residents are over the age of 50, and working and living in our older group homes becomes more and more problematic over time. So we want to keep them as safe as possible. This will be a one-floor facility. Each person will have their own an individual bathroom, and there'll be a central community room for socialization.
deal.
That's really beneficial in the treatment that we provide. So we're hoping that we can move forward, so.
This
Councilors, have any questions?
Gardiner, the other meeting that we were
Councilor
looking
Jeffries.
at, they're the ones that are
Thank you, Mr.
guilty
Mayor.
of
Mr. Zarelli,
Yes.
how are you this evening?
Very good. How
stacking
are
the
you?
deck.
Very good, thank you.
And
Smokos
they had 2 minutes per,
named
20
for a lot
minutes,
around here, doing
10
lots of wonderful
people,
things for
and
the
then
community.
bam, no outside
Would you
residents,
have any
outside
kind of
the
knowledge as to how many
residents and
properties
staff.
in
Staff
Augusta
and
Moco
students
actually
should not be
owns?
allowed to speak.
About 14 properties.
14 properties. Are you familiar with the term pilot, which is payment in lieu of taxes?
Yes, I am.
Yes. Does MoCo pay any pilots to the city of Augusta for these 14 properties?
No, not that I'm aware of.
Not that you're
No,
aware of.
no, we're not. We do not.
You do
Well,
not?
I'm doing my
Okay. Is that
damnedest.
something that they would consider at some
Yes,
point in time?
we would consider.
That would be a very welcome thing, especially given what we're going to be talking about tonight in the
I
struggles.
just
that we're starting
saw-
to have.
Right now, we are completely flat.
That's pretty funny. I think Drew's watching me on YouTube and on X. Aren't you?
It's been a challenge for us.
Unless
down the
there's
line,
like
we can
a
get
whole
funding,
bunch of
we can get-
Lyndon LaRouche followers out there.
Give some thought. A lot of gratitude would come with it.
Great.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Are there any other questions?
All right, let's see what's going on with the school board.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
We'll be given another shot at the end,
Okay.
if there's anything you forgot. All right. Would anybody like to speak in favor of the application, support? Seeing none, anybody who wishes to speak in opposition?
A mini
Anybody
like
to
body
speak
farm.
Neither for nor against?
And so they were actually analyzing the decomposition of
But not
like
of a body.
No, no, of an animal body, not of a human body, but of an animal body. They were like measuring like the decomposition, how many maggots there were, like things like, I was getting a little sick.
It's the body
as the
farm that
description was
must be
being,
talking
but
about.
I think that's fantastic that the students actually get to go into, they're walking in the woods. They happened to find this, they, segmented it off. It wasn't planned that way. They segmented it off with fencing and they were able to study this. And also understand like if they're hiking in the woods, what might they find? They might find a sick animal. It was really awesome.
This is
but
more
it was a little
interesting at the
crazy.
moment than whatever the hell
So
is
I
going
thought
on at the
kudos
school
to that
board meeting.
teacher. So, yeah.
And the other point that she made is that she was trying to expand this program and to encourage other teachers to do similar kinds of things.
Yeah.
And then if it's okay, we had a meeting Tuesday. Can I talk about that one?
Sure.
Another curriculum meeting?
Yeah.
Okay. On May 5th, we had a curriculum meeting, and the purpose of that was to look at our funding that we got for Title I, II, IV, and V. And
This is a pretty good
there
format
was
since
a
when
lot
there's
of
Zoom,
detail. There was a lot
you
of
don't need
information
whatever's
here. And what
above
I'm
and
gonna leave you
below.
with, if you'll let me get away with this, is saying that our
All right, hang
funding
on
was basically flat. We've got a little more here and a little less there. And
That if your
Angela's
company
working
is
very
owned by
hard
an
to spend
overlying
this money in the
corporation,
ways
that they want you to be a dispensary rather than a caregiver. They want to keep caregivers to being sole proprietorships. And I have an overarching corporation over this LLC. And so ultimately I'm here to see about getting a dispensary license opposed to the existing caregiver license, just to work towards that goal that OCP has asked us to do before any licensing renewals or any licensing things.
Whoa. What happened? Where did the city... It just went away, man. CTV7 just disappeared. Shit. What? Yeah, they ran out of gas like we did. Well, let me turn on the other one. Let's see when it comes back.
Literacy side of Title I, from 2 ed tech 3s. 1 is currently vacant, being held by a long-term sub who is teacher certified, because that's the rule. And she's doing a great job. And 1 is aware of this and how there's a transition plan. From